Let's roll. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. The pimps, the players, the hustlers, the people that bustle them, and everybody else in between. The Wicked Wednesday has begun. Let's do this thing. Countdown to first pitch is on from Chavez Ravine. The Los Angeles Dodgers host the San Francisco Giants. Once again, the Dodgers have taken the first two in this set. Tyler Glasnow on the hill for the Dodgers this evening. Dodgers, big-time favorites. You're not going to get the Dodgers at a moderate price very often like we did last night because it was a bullpen game for them. Kyle Harrison goes for the San Francisco Giants. Although, I'll tell you what. See, last night it was a bullpen game for the Dodgers, and you had Logan Webb, one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball, on the hill for the Giants. But as I told you before the game, the Dodgers actually terrorized Logan Webb. He doesn't pitch well against them. He doesn't do well against the Los Angeles Dodgers, as good as he is, and we saw the Dodgers light him up early in the game last night. Ironically enough, nobody knows who the hell Kyle Harrison is, but he pitched against the Dodgers once last year, and he gave the Dodgers big-time problems. Mookie Betts was 0 for 4. Freddie Freeman didn't get a hit. So the Dodgers haven't seen him a lot, and the one time that they did, they were unable to hit him. Now, it doesn't mean they're not going to hit him tonight. The Dodgers lineup is that good. That's the thing that makes the Dodgers so dangerous, that somebody can get you. Look, Ohtani's hitting like 250 right now, and the Dodgers are 6-2, right? Teoscar Hernandez, his batting average isn't great, but he's slugging home runs. So somebody can always get you if it's not Freeman, if it's not Mookie Betts or Ohtani off the top. So I think the Dodgers, and not to mention the Dodgers have Glasnow on the hill. Glasnow's a stud. All right, Glasnow's looked great in both of his starts so far. This is his third start already. Pretty crazy. Glasnow's looked great. So the Dodgers minus 250. The total is 8.5 in this game. And I think it's going to go under the number. All right, I think the Dodgers win the game. Listen, it's the thing with the Dodgers, they're not going to win every game, right? So you got to approach it in different ways. Obviously, we're going to attack this, and shout out to everybody joining us on Sirius XM Channel 159. This is SportsRage on the SportsGrid radio and television networks. Obviously, we're going to play the same play that we give you on a nightly basis, that hits on a nightly basis, although they finally adjusted. Like Mookie Betts is literally like hitting like nearly 600, and you had him at plus 115 every night to go over 1.5 total bases. It's minus 125 tonight. That's a 40-cent difference from last night, man. Big difference. And eventually it'll be up to 150 and stuff, and whatever. We'll have to start thinking about going over 2 bases and 2.5. Ohtani's the same price. They bumped up Freeman because Freeman keeps doing it every night too. So the plus money party is over. We talked about it last night. The Boston Red Sox won again today. It wasn't easy, but they won. And it was only minus 170. It sounds like a lot, not when you're playing the Oakland Athletics, right? Like, you got to take advantage of these prices before they just say, all right, we're not doing this anymore. We're going to make everybody a minus 250 favorite against the Athletics. Blue Jays are losing 4-0 right now. So tonight's the night, as Rod Stewart once said. Tonight's the night. Tonight's the night that Shohei Ohtani hits a home run. Aaron Judge hit his first home run of the season today. Ohtani hasn't hit a home run yet. The guy's like, he probably is going to hit about 45, 50 of them this year. It's got to start at some point. This is the Dodgers' 9th game. It's time for him to hit a home run. I'm 0 for 8. I bet on Ohtani to hit a home run in every game this year. I really have. And I haven't really gotten upset about it because I haven't been putting a ton on it. But because, he gets hits and I win all the other props, it's sort of a throwaway. Oh, yeah, any Ohtani home run prop that I lose every night. But tonight, I doubled up tonight. Like, now is the time. We're going into game 9 here, and we can't miss out on this. So I've actually increased the units tonight. If it doesn't happen tonight, it's going to happen at Wrigley. The Dodgers are going to Wrigley after this. And, whatever. We'll see about the wind and all that. But it's going to happen, like, in the next couple of games. We've got to get a piece of it. It's plus 310. So we got Ohtani to hit a home run at plus 310. Mookie Betts over 1.5 total bases at minus 125. Freddie Freeman over 1.5 total bases, minus 115. Shohei Ohtani over 1.5 total bases, minus 110. Dodgers to win the game. Here's the same game parlay. Dodgers to win the game under 10.5 runs on the alternate. You can create it. And it's plus 110. So Dodgers to win and under 10.5 is plus 110. We're going to be joined by a man who is a San Francisco 49er fan. I don't know if he's a hardcore San Francisco Giant fan as well. Might be a problem considering this is a Dodger show. But we love him anyways. Brady Cannon's going to step up and in and join us. It's the calm before the Masters, the Valero, Texas Open. We'll get into that with Brady and the Red Red Cam Stewart. So, as I stated, I think the Dodgers, listen, I think this Harrison guy is going to give the Dodgers some problems just because they don't really know him and he is pretty good. And everybody assumes, they're going to strike out against Logan Webb and they're going to light up this kid. I don't think so. So, like I said, the same game parlay. Dodgers to win the game. Under 10.5 is plus 110. I do like the game to go under the 8.5. I'd rather shade it up to 9. I got a Dodgers and Phoenix Suns moneyline parlay. There's a lot of ways you can approach this. So Brady Cannon's going to step up, and then we got Paul Bovey in the house tonight. We'll talk some basketball with Paul. Cleveland Cavaliers and the Phoenix Suns tonight in the desert. Of course, the Final Fours taking place in the Phoenix area, in Glendale, to be specific, which is just a little bit outside of the downtown Phoenix core, right where the Arizona Cardinals play. There's a sports book there. So it'll be a great time. And in fact, the Vancouver Canucks are playing in Arizona tonight. And when I saw this a long time ago, when I saw the schedule, I actually kind of thought I would be there for this tonight. I figured, you know what? Maybe I'll go see the Vancouver Canucks at the Mullet Center in the small little arena there, and I'll go to the Final Four at the stadium. It'd be a great time. I'm a fan of Arizona. I like the state of Arizona, and I like the city of Phoenix. But it kind of crept up on me, and I do have money on UConn to cut down the nets, but I'm not a fan of any of these teams, and I'm going to be doing some traveling coming up this summer for different sporting events. So I don't need to rush into anything right now. George Kurtz will step up, and we'll kick it with George Kurtz. As Aaron Judge did hit his first home run. We'll check in with the Major League Baseball markets as the season is off and running. We'll get you up to date with the women's Final Four numbers, and of course the news from the day in the National Football League today. Stephon Diggs is no longer a member of the Buffalo Bills, because of course he isn't, because I've got an autographed picture of Stephon Diggs and a Buffalo Bill jersey that's basically no good anymore, and I've got a Buffalo Bill Stephon Diggs jersey that's basically no good anymore. I gotta tell you, if I get a player, he will get traded. If I ever buy a player's jersey, I have a closet full of jerseys of players. I'm it's to the point where I actually think, you know what? Is he going to trade it? Is his contract up? It's what's going to happen here? From now on, I only buy jerseys with no names on the back. So it's an end of an era. Stephon Diggs goes to the Houston Texans. And I'll tell you what, the Houston Texans are the first team in the history of the National Football League to add a wide receiver that had 100 catches, a running back that had 1,000 yards, and a defensive player that had 10 or more sacks like they have. This is SportsRage.
That's the first.
Need the second one in a major way.
Okay, all right.
Need the second one here for you. 74-61. The sweat, it's all live bets. There's nothing from...
Oh, we missed it! Give him a three!
Hit it!
Come on!
Hit it!
Stop!
Hit it!
Yeah!
Oh,
We
my
got
God!
it! Foul him! Foul him!
Only on SportsGrid.
Is it pretty much cut and dry that NC State is the biggest surprise of the weekend? I don't think anybody's bracket had the Wolfpack going this far.
I think they're going to find a way to keep this one close. And we all know Purdue's tournament history under Matt Painter. They've had a lot of early exits when they've been good teams, and maybe this is the time they'll exercise their demons. It's kind of like when Virginia lost to that 16-seed UMBC.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency, the pimps, the players, the hustlers, the people of Busted, but everybody else in between. And I've been informed that, yes, indeed, Brady Cannon is a San Francisco Giant fan. So we had no choice but to cancel his segment. Cam Stewart will do the golf alone tonight.
Yes. That's the best. Brady's Mike.
You have that power when you run the show.
It's all good, Brady. Yeah. It's all good. We enjoy the rivalry. It's all in good fun. But
it is a great rivalry, isn't it?
Oh, it really is one of the few remaining, right? Like there's a few that kind of get forced on us. Yeah, but it's just a natural. The thing is, it's not like really forced. Like San Francisco and LA could not be any different as cities.
True.
Like they just like it's completely same state, but completely different worlds. And, but somebody told me once long ago, it was a Dodger, said, everybody in San Francisco hates us. We don't know where San Francisco is. That was their comeback.
Yeah. No, and that kind of resembles the attitudes of the area too. San Francisco is real passionate about their sports. LA's like, man, bro, let's go catch some waves. They
if
don't
they're
really
good, they're
care.
passionate about it. Yeah.
Right. They're really kind of more Lakers fans, and they're pretty passionate about the Dodgers.
No, the Dodgers too. The Dodgers and Lakers and everything else. Yeah. And it is.
But
it
you're
used
right.
to be USC was up there, but
yeah, true. In a nutshell, though, it's like, the Giants hate the Dodgers, and the Dodgers don't care.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those. No, it's true, Ken. It's like those rivalries where it's like, dude, I don't know why they hate us so much. I don't know what their deal is. Right?
And the Dodgers don't care.
It's like the Dodgers, too. It's like, whatever, dude. We got a problem with the Braves, not you guys. So, you know what I mean? If you're the Dodgers, you're thinking the Braves are our nemesis, kind of. But it's the same way, Cam, kind of like I grew up in Montreal like that, where it was like this big, Montreal, Toronto. And people in Montreal were like, what rivalry? Like, these guys suck. Like, what are we talking about? They haven't won in 50 years. Like, what rivalry? Like I always tell people, like, they're like, what about that Leafs-Habs rivalry? I'm like, the Habs' biggest rival are the Boston Bruins. Canadian people in Montreal hate the Bruins way more than the Leafs. Like, they're indifferent to the Leafs. Like, the Leafs have never hurt them in life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they've never beaten them. Even when they played a couple of years ago, the Leafs choked against them in the playoffs.
Yeah, they did, Gabe. If it wasn't for Gary Brady, you just keep on hitting me like Brady? Gabe's like a guy I'm in the alleyway and I already got bullets and they're coming back in like another knife wound there. It's like, I get it. The Leafs suck. But here's another thing. that skit with Joe Flaherty and John Candy, like that, you're right. That's the closest they're come to like a rivalry. But the funny thing is, Leaf fan hates Boston fan the way Montreal fan hates Boston fan.
Yeah, that's the common pattern. We're all united in hating you, Boston. Sorry, but it's true.
All you do is beat us.
Just people in Vancouver hate the Bruins with a passion too.
Oh, that's Stanley Cup final game.
No, but it's been 12 years and they still hate them. It's like the Bruins, like, oh, the Bruins are here. All right, so the Masters
great, back in the day
too. Yeah.
Go ahead. Go. I was just going to say, back in the day, it was classic when I was growing up, and like Joe Morgan was on the Giants, and even before Will Clark, and then you had Tommy Lasorda running the Dodgers. If one team was in a playoff chase and the other one wasn't, boy, did the other team love to spoil the party for the other.
Oh, that final weekend game. The final weekend series.
Lasorda was passionate about that, and the Giants loved to stick it to the Dodgers when they were, and it was fun watching that. For a long time there, the Giants were pretty lousy. They were trying to play spoiler most of the time, but it's gone back and forth over the last 20 years or so.
So you're rolling the dice tonight because of the price? Getting a nice price with San Francisco.
And, you see the sign in my back here, De La Salle High School. That's where I went to school in Concord, California. Big powerhouse football-wise. But Kyle Harrison, the guy on the bump tonight for San Francisco, got the win in the season opener. He's 1-0. He went to De La Salle High School, so I got to root for the guy.
You know what? I talked about this, Cam. I don't know what your pick is for this game, but see, like last night, everybody – Logan Webb's on the hill in a short price, Dodgers bullpen game. And I brought it up before the game started. I said, the Dodgers all murder Logan Webb. Logan Webb might be great, but he doesn't get Mookie Betts out. He doesn't get Freddie Freeman out. He doesn't get Will Smith out, right? Like the Dodgers hit Logan Webb well for whatever reason. You just talked about it. Nobody really knows who Kyle Harrison is, but I didn't know what high school he went to. Great stuff, Brady. But, Cam, like you said, he won his debut this year. Last year he faced the Dodgers, and he mowed them down. Like Mookie Betts went 0 for 4. Freddie Freeman was like 0 for 3 with a walk. They didn't light him up. So I could see tonight. I like the under of this game, guys. I got the Dodgers in the same game parlay to the under at 10.5, little alt line, but I also bet the under 8.5 itself when I played my Dodger props. What did you do with this game, Cam? And what about the Vancouver Canuck game? What did you do with the Canucks and the Coyotes?
Well, Gabe, you're probably not going to like anything that I say right now.
Oh, God. You didn't take the Phoenix Coyotes, did you?
Here's the deal. FanDuel, I'm getting the Giants plus 2.5 minus 128. You think it's like giving me a free deal. That Brady,
nice bet.
Plus 2.5? What'd you say? What you did? Plus 2.5?
You're so scared of Dodge. You don't know what, Gabe? I've learned this about FanDuel Ontario. They have so much action on Dodger games. You're getting like 2.5s on other teams now because it's almost like the casino. They're trying to balance out the VIG, right? They can't. Everybody bets Dodgers. That's the whole thing, like these crazy NHL lines. I'm sorry, Morency. I don't like the way your Canucks are playing. I'm on the Dallas Stars. I'm on the Kings, and I took the Phoenix Coyotes. Oh, I'm sorry. Your team really pissed me off the other night despite the plus 3.5. I'm going with the Coyotes. Sorry.
The other night? It was last night.
Yeah, sorry, last night. Yeah. That was the only bet I won.
The other last night.
Yeah,
they lost 6-3 in Vegas last night. Now they're in Arizona.
The Canucks taking my money over the last couple of weeks. I'm just out of spite. I'm betting Arizona now.
I went big on Vancouver tonight in a bounce-back spot.
Period.
Gabe, I thought minus 260 was pretty expensive on the Dodgers. I think the Giants nearly won that game last night. They shut the Dodgers out for like the last 4 innings. That was a good game last night, and I think they're going to be able to take one eventually in this series, and it might be tonight. I thought 260 was pretty darn expensive.
Gabe, can I just say one thing? I just want to say one thing quick, and then you can cut my mic. The Vancouver Canucks are minus 140 on my book. You know what that tells me? That's the old
trap
fish in the hook, and we're coming into the boat. And you know what? We're cooking them up for dinner. The skillet's on the fire. They could be wine 80 and people would still bet this team. I'm sorry, man. That line has got Trap City. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's a weird line.
Still scoreless 6 minutes into the game. Just for the record. So they played 6 minutes. 1-0 for the LA Kings after 20.
Live.
And the Dallas Stars are up 1-0 on the Edmonton Oilers. I think the Canucks bounce back. They've been very good at bouncing back after bad games.
That's true.
Last night was only the second time all year they gave up 4 goals in the first period. So I would expect them to be much more disciplined and intense tonight. And quite frankly, the Canucks are good against bad teams. They struggle against playoff sort of caliber style teams, and they generally beat teams that they're supposed to beat. We'll see what happens tonight. And not to mention, it's almost like a Canucks home game. I was saying earlier, guys, I was thinking about going to this game and then hang around Phoenix for the Final Four this weekend.
Yeah,
right.
Nice.
Check out the Final Four, but I can't go to everything, and I'm not a diehard fan of any of these teams. There'll be enough events for me to go to, or especially like Dodger games this year and other stuff. So we got the Masters coming up. We'll get Brady's picks for the Valero Texas Open on the other side, and Phoenix just had a nice scoring opportunity right there. We'll see what's in Cam's bag for this. I'm looking forward to seeing how the Masters plays out, and we'll track everything that's going on tonight. We've got Cleveland and Phoenix right now. 16-15. They're off and running. They're midway through the first quarter of play. Orlando are up on the Pels, 112-104 right now. And Major League Baseball. It's great to have baseball back and another sport back in the rotation. The Cubs are putting the finishing touches on the Rockies right now, 8-3 in the top of the eighth inning. The Toronto Blue Jays are losing. They're getting shut out again. They got no hit 2 games ago. And now they're losing 5-0 tonight to the Houston Astros.
Gabe,
Hey,
I'm going to
Gabe,
say this on
who
the
do you
show.
play with
I'm listening to you now. Done with the Blue Jays. I'm done. Done.
They haven't even played a home game.
That's the first.
Need the second one in a major way.
Okay. All right.
Need the second one here for you. 74-61. The sweat. It's all live bets. There's nothing from.
Oh, we missed it. Give me 3.
Hit it.
Come on.
Hit it.
Stop.
Hit it.
Yeah!
Oh,
We
my
got
God.
it. Foul him. Foul him.
Only on SportsGrid.
Is it pretty much cut and dry that NC State is the biggest surprise of the weekend? I mean, I don't think anybody's bracket had the Wolfpack going this far.
I think they're going to find a way to keep this one close. And we all know Purdue's tournament history under Matt Painter. They've had a lot of early exits when they've been good teams, and maybe this is the time they'll exercise their demons. It's kind of like when Virginia lost to that 16-seed UMBC.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I'm Morency, still scoreless right now in Phoenix. The Coyotes have just killed off a power play of the Vancouver Canucks. Orlando Magic are about to win. There's only 7 seconds left. They're up 114-106. And the Suns and Cavs, 17-16. Midway through the first quarter of play. We'll keep our eye on everything throughout the evening, including the Dodgers and San Francisco, who are already into the top of the second inning with this pitch clock. How about this, guys? The in-game total, and I talked about liking the under of this game, the in-game total all the way down to under total of 6.5 right now.
Wow.
That's a quick drop. Yeah. Quick drop from closed at 8.5, guys. Yeah, 6.5.
2-run difference. Yeah.
And we're only in the top of the second inning, Brady. 6 outs, and they were like, "Whoa!"
Now I know. Last night was 5-4. What wasn't the first game a low-scoring game too? Was that like 1-0 or something like that in favor of the Dodgers?
First game of the series? Off the top of my head, I think it was 6-2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it was 6-2.
Last night went over the total. First game was maybe a push or whatever, but
yeah. So we'll keep her on this. Glasnow is a badass though, and this is his third start of the season already because he pitched. It's kind of weird. It's like, how can he pitch 3 times if they've only played 8 games? But they had a week off in between games, right? They played in Korea. They came back. He started the first game in Korea. Then he started the first game at Chavez at Dodger Stadium against the home opener against the Cardinals. Now this is his third start. That's why they pushed him back a day yesterday. So let's get into the Valero Open right now. The calm before the storm, the tournament before the big one. We got some decent numbers here at least, guys. No Scheffler on the board, but the starting point is 10-1 with Rory. Ludwig Aberg is 12-1. Max Homa 22. Spieth 22. Hideki 22. Fitzpatrick 28. Corey Connors 28. Morikawa in the 30-1 range. Who do you like this week, Brady?
I did not go all the way to the top to Rory. Cam knows this, Gabe, and I'm sure you're familiar as well. The tournament prior to a major, there's a little bit of a psychological handicap here too. How are guys going to treat the week? The guys that are already in the Masters. Is Rory McIlroy, does he care about winning the Texas Open, or does he care about winning the career Grand Slam? I don't think he's 100% in this week, and I wouldn't be surprised if he missed the cut. But I did go down, not much further down the board, to Ludwig Aberg. Now, he's already in the Masters as well. I got him at 13-1. But I think this guy has kind of a little bit of a special place in his heart for this tournament, this area. He went to Texas Tech, and he's played this course many times, and he actually got a special invite to this tournament in 2022. So he's very familiar with the area. So I think he's in it to win it. I don't think he's looking to just tune things up and get ready for next week. I think he's ready to play, and he does everything absolutely well. This guy's an amazing star already in less than a year on tour. He drives it well, irons. He tacks the par fives, greens in regulation. He does everything well this week I looked at, so I took a stab with him. And then I went to Matsuyama at 23-1. Again, I go back to how do guys treat this tournament the week before a major, in this case, the Masters. Hideki Matsuyama finished 30th here in 2021 and then went on to win at Augusta. Last year, he finished 15th. So that tells me he's not taking the week off. He's focused. He's trying to win this thing. So I'm going to go after Hideki, who's been playing fantastic golf. This is an interesting stat. The last 4 winners of the Valero Texas Open that week in the field have ranked top 5 for strokes gained tee to green. Coming into this week, last 12 rounds, Hideki Matsuyama's number 1 in the field in strokes gained tee to green. So took a stab with him. And then I went to the defending champion, who I don't often land on, but that's Corey Connors at 30-1. He's won this tournament twice. I just can't ignore what a good fit he is here. He stripes it down the middle. He drives it accurately. He's maybe the very best ball striker in this field. So I took a stab with him at 30. And then the rest of the guys I played are all guys that are not yet in the Masters. So they certainly have motivation to play this week. And I don't think the pressure will be too much for them. They're veterans. They've been here and done that before. Alex Noren at 38-1. Guy's been playing fantastic golf as of late. Billy Horschel at 42-1. Same thing. 3 top 12 finishes in his last 4 starts. He's been money here at the Valero. Two third-place finishes, a 4th and an 11th. Yeah. And he's trying to not miss the Masters for the first time since 2017. And then Christian Bezuidenhout at 51-1. He's 58th in the world ranking, so he's close to getting into that top 50. A good finish will get him there. He's been playing great this season, great on approach, great short game. And then finally, Keith Mitchell at 55-1, also not yet in the field for Augusta. He'll need a big win here this week, and I think he can do it. He's one of the best drivers of the golf ball. He's had 4 top 20 finishes in his last 6 starts. So there's my 7-pack this week for you guys.
I've caught on, Brady. You take Keith Mitchell like Cam takes Eric Cole. That's your guy. You always like to sprinkle at the end. And I got to go a little Keith Mitchell here at the end, right? I have noticed it. And I only really catch it because I know Keith Mitchell's buddies with my guy, Josh Allen. So I'm like, hey, go back to Keith Mitchell.
There you go, yeah.
You know the thing about Keith Mitchell is, and Brady will tell you, if a golf tournament was 2 or 3 rounds, he'd probably be top 5 in the world. He's
he's almost like Josh Allen, isn't he, though? He's got super talent. It just doesn't all fully come together over 4 days.
Sometimes his putting can be real sketchy.
But I like what he said, and I'll throw it to you, Cam, what you think about it. And I would think this, too, as well. And I talked about it coming into the March Madness, Brady. I said, everybody talks about Cinderella. I said, don't look for Cinderellas, guys. I said, to me, and I was right, if you look at the teams that made it, I said, look at like major conference teams, big programs that kind of were mid-tier and underachieved during the year. They're the ones that'll take off. Alabama kind of underachieved at times. NC State were big underachievers, and then boom, here they are. But same theory here, what you were talking about. You know what I mean, Cam? Like, Rory doesn't care about this tournament. He's thinking about like speed, same thing. Like these guys are thinking about the Masters, like the elite guys. I want to bet on a guy who's going to be happy to get the check this week, Cam. Who's thinking, you know what, this is my tournament this week. To some guy, like not just thinking about the Masters. And let's be real, Cam, if you're a top player like this, Rory will even work on a shot or a club or something. He'll be like, this is my last time to see. This is the last time I'm going to see if I can do this with this. If not, I won't do it next week. You know what I mean, Brady? You know as well as anybody. The top guys, it's like, it's almost a final practice for them. I want to get guys there who are like, no, I want to win this tournament this week.
Yep. Excellent point, Gabe. And I'm going to tell you another thing, Brady. I love Aubert, too. I got a bet boost.
So he changed his name. He said, stop calling me Aberg. He was like, hey, by the way, guys. Yes, I know.
Like, what am I going to take? Matt Sundin to say, like, not just you were Aberg. Now,
because I know he always said, I heard I was watching golf, and they were like, he wants to be called a Berg now or whatever. I'm like,
whatever.
It's too late, bro.
You know what I mean?
You should have told us this 2 years ago.
Hey, the iceberg. I love it. You know what? Out of Brady's 7 picks, Gabe, I have 4 of his picks this week without even talking to him. Yeah. Without even talking.
I didn't even know Corey Carnes is the champ. Corey Carnes catch my eye. I just like the Canadian guys, especially in Texas, and the Canadian guys win. If you take a Canadian guy every week, top 20, you're going to do well, aren't you guys?
Canadians
it's
are doing
the only
great,
2
Gabe.
tournaments he's ever won on tour. It's this tournament twice. So, I had to give him another shot. And he's got multiple top 10 finishes at Augusta. So this guy's not of the mindset that this is a tune-up.
Got a nice top 20 price, too, for him, too.
Yes.
For a guy, too.
Yes.
Yeah, and I played all 7 guys I played for the outright win and the top 20 finish.
Me too.
Who do you have, Cam, and his guys?
Frank Font, let's put him up and see what me and Brady got. We got Hideki Matsuyama, same as you.
Yes.
Watch out for him. I love him this week. Alex Noren almost won last week. I'm with you.
I sorry to interrupt you, but I swear to God, right now I'm watching the Vancouver Canuck game and they're popping in. There's Jessica and Adam Hadwin enjoying the game. He's a Canuck fan. He's got a Canuck hat on, Cam.
I told you. I'll tell you guys a great story with Adam Hadwin after my pick.
Yeah, they're drinking a beer, having some popcorn right now.
He is the nicest guy you'll ever meet. So what else do I? Font, you got more here? I think I got it. So what do I got? I got Matsuyama, Horschel, Noren. You know what, Brady? I don't care if he's 90 pounds, whatever. He was leading on the back 9, and I was thinking about 5K. Sorry, Ash K. Batea, you let me down, but I'm coming back. Moops always plays well in Texas. He might not have the length over 4 rounds. And watch out, Gabe, the new powder keg on tour. He's your type of guy, smashing clubs, telling people to F off. Toasty. He's like toast. Burnt, angry, Man, this guy's amazing.
Alejandro
He almost won
Toasty.
last week. Yeah, Alejandro, watch out for Toasty. Toaster strudel.
Yeah, he got under the
150 to
skin
1.
of under the skin of Tony Finau last week.
He wanted to
Florida
fight
Gator,
Finau.
by the way. Yeah,
Hey,
Florida
Finau.
Gator.
Finau's a big dude for a golfer. He's the one guy you probably don't want to get under the
Toasty's
skin.
insane. Toasty's
Yeah.
insane. He's nuts.
Yeah.
And I want to bet him this week. And who else do we got here, Brady?
Isn't that
I gotta
bad,
tell
though,
you-
to be a hothead and a golfer?
No, what
Not
it
a good
is,
combo.
it works both ways. I think you need to
Terrell
be.
Hatton,
You either need
John
to be.
Rahm.
You need to be. Yes, good call. Hatton, Rahm, and Toasty. But you also Scheffler's like basically. He's
pretty
comatose,
intense.
right?
Yeah, but
He can be, but he's
no, I
pretty
should
calm.
say intense. He's upset when he loses. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Like he can tell
Yeah.
he's really upset when Scheffler
Yeah.
loses.
Exactly. So, Gabe,
You
here
know,
are a
some
couple
guys
other
are like, "Oh, it was great. I finished second." You saw him when he missed that putt. He's like, "Son of a bitch, mother!" Like
no.
he was like,
It was a short putt, too. No, he
He's
snapped.
like, the handshake. He's like, yeah, and he walked away. Like there was like steam coming off his head.
Oh, big time. These are top 40s, all plus money. Højgaard, I know Brady's a big fan of. We're taking him again. I'm telling you, does anybody watch Nasty Nate Lashley play? All he does is make cuts and finish like 28th.
He checked a lot of boxes for me, Cam.
Buddy, I'm
Yep,
telling you, I'm
I hear
taking
you.
him at 175 to 1 as well. Lashley, and watch out for Novak Djokovic. No, I mean Andrew Novak. Touch machine,
Oh, yeah.
making
He's
money
playing well.
every week.
That's the first.
Need the second one in a major way.
Okay. All right.
Need the second one here for you. 74-61. The sweat. It's all live bets. There's nothing from.
Oh, we missed
it.
Get my three.
Hit it.
Come on.
Hit it.
Stop.
Hit it.
Yes!
Oh,
We
my
got
God.
it. Foul him. Foul him.
Only on SportsGrid.
I mean, is it pretty much cut and dry that NC State is the biggest surprise of the weekend? I mean, I don't think anybody's bracket had the Wolfpack going this far.
I think they're going to find a way to keep this one close. And we all know Purdue's tournament history under Matt Painter. They've had a lot of early exits when they've been good teams, and maybe this is the time they'll exercise their demons. It's kind of like when Virginia lost to that 16-seed UMBC.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Always great stuff with Brady Cannon talking to Valero Open and Major League Baseball. It's the Masters next week. We'll definitely dive in and have a Masters special. Still scoreless right now in the desert. Vancouver Canucks and the Arizona Coyotes getting a little chippy right now. I think there might be a penalty coming up here. I can't tell. It's like a Vancouver home game. Like the crowd is reacting more positively for Vancouver because it's close to Vancouver. It's the Final Four. People play golf, and you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of Canuck fans here in the building. Like I said, no, the penalty's on the Canucks, actually. Buddy on the Canucks JT Miller. That was the stupidest thing you just did, dude. Why would you? He just cross-checked the Phoenix Coyote defenseman into the back of the Coyotes' net.
I'm going to tell you something,
like that's like
Gabe.
the definition of like, you know what I mean, Cam? Like, you don't take a penalty next to the opposing team's net when we're on offense. Like, you just smoked the dude in the back.
He does it all the time.
Remember I told you, Cam? Remember I told you the Canucks can't help themselves? They're like, yeah, I'm going to just cross-check this guy face first into the net. Like, dude, he murdered the guy. Like, why would you do that?
JT Miller is you have to take the great with the bad, but man, that guy takes stupid penalties. He does a lot of bonehead
You're right.
stuff,
He does it a lot.
He's a great player. Great player, though. But
he's got a good shot.
Yeah, very good.
He's got a good shot. He's an intense. He's an intense dude, but he does selfish things. Oh, and here's a potential 2-on-1 for the Canucks on shorthanded. Oh, they nearly scored, but they didn't. Let's bring in Mr. Paul Bovey right now. 34-20 for the Phoenix Suns over the Cleveland Cavaliers after the first quarter of play. Paul, good to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight. How you doing?
Well, I'm underwater on that Cleveland game. I really thought they'd make a dogfight of it. So far, it's not working out early. They lost the previous game, converted 25 of 38 inside the paint without Donovan Mitchell. So I don't know. I just inside the arc, I should say. I don't know. I thought they'd hang in there, even though they had a game last night, relatively easy. But so far, they've come up empty. But let's see what happens. How am I doing? Could be doing better, but I'll let you know in about 25 minutes when it gets to halftime.
So 34-20 right now. Paul's got some Cleveland action and some Cleveland team total action going on here. It's still early. They, first few minutes of the second quarter is key, that they hit a couple of shots and get that meter moving in the right direction for you. But one thing we all know, the Phoenix Suns are capable of blowing leads as well, right? So let's see how this second quarter starts to play out here tonight. What did you think of last night, Paul, the Dallas Mavericks and the Golden State Warriors and the Warriors beating them?
I thought it was an excellent game to play live. It was going back and forth. I wish I had gotten involved, but it was very entertaining. And if that gives us an indication what we're going to see in the playoffs, I'm looking forward to it because it was interesting. And let's face it, Luka is doing everything in his power to will himself to this MVP. He has been phenomenal. Last night, 30-plus, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. And, somebody made a comment that I think it was Colin Cowherd, that he was reminded him of Carmelo Anthony. And look, Luka Doncic, you can say what you want about him. He's soft. He doesn't work out, but he's getting better each and every year. He's 25 years old. The trajectory is up. He plays defense. He gets back. He gives his best effort, and he's getting better at it. So I like what the guy's doing. He will win a championship. I just don't think it will happen with this team, but eventually in the years to come, he'll get over the hump.
Him and Kyrie have worked out better than a lot of people thought they would, but they're still a player away, aren't they? Right? That's the thing. Like, it's just not enough. I agree with you. I think his conditioning is better. You can see he's less pudgy and a little bit more muscular as well. He gets back a little bit more. He can play defense when he wants to. He still has the complaininitis disease, though, right? He's eased up a little bit, but it's a lot of times where he'll walk back because he's too busy bitching at the ref the whole time, right? Like he's that, I'm playing D, but at the same point in time, I'm having a conversation with a ref.
He did it last night, Morency.
He does it all the time.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, like he's got to sort of shake that off and just move on because it actually causes them a couple of possessions a game. Like there's times where he's slow, he's back. Kyle Lowry does it a lot. There's certain players. It's like, dude, like the play's not going to stop because you're bitching at the ref. Like Lucas sort of has that about him, Paul.
Yeah, he does, but he doesn't have the arm flail down pat, which a lot of guys do. You know, they
the Harden flail. He's Harden for perfecting.
Yeah. I think he's got to get better at that. It's very infectious, and I think it's kind of prevalent around the league among some players. Kobe, rest in peace. He was notorious for it, as were quite a few other players. So I'm not going to say he's the lone wolf, but yeah, he's got to get better at that. Just play your game. Let the refs do their very difficult job and call the game to the best of their ability. And it will work in your favor because when you complain too much, you will not get the benefit of the calls.
Unless you're LeBron, they'll tune you out, right? There's certain, like, you've got to be the elite of the elite. That's the thing. I saw Nick Nurse the other night with the Sixers, and, like, Nick Nurse was, like, taunting the refs, mouthing off the whole time. And I saw it in Toronto where it's like, dude, we get it. You won a championship, but you've only been in the league a few years. The refs don't care. So, like, they don't, you're not, you're not Pat Riley, bro. Like, you've got to chill out a little bit with these dudes. And it's funny, it's carried over, and you'll see in the playoffs, it'll haunt them. Nick Nurse will flip out all the time about little things, too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he just bitches the whole game where, like, dude, there's a game going on, coach. You know what I mean? And you're just, like, talking to the ref the entire night. You're not getting calls either. Like, you're getting ejected. like you'd figure out after a few years, you'd realize, you know what? It's not really working me yelling at them all the time. Maybe I better buddy up to them a little bit more. Because it really, you know more than anyone doing the shows with Donaghy. And even the few times I had him on, I learned a lot about that. And Tim actually told me, you know, a lot of times, he goes, everyone thinks everyone is on the take and stuff. He goes, a lot of times it's just personal and people don't like each other. Right?
Shut up, coach.
There'll be a coach that'll remain nameless, but Donnie told me, he goes, tonight, for example, he goes, it was the playoffs too. He goes, tonight, for example, he goes, this coach is and this ref, they don't get along. And he goes, because this ref is gay and that coach is a homophobe. And he always says things to him. And he goes, watch, you won't get calls. Right? Nobody would ever think that watching at home about what the real deal is, right? About why does this guy know? Why don't they like each other? Well, maybe you should stop calling him names. Maybe he won't tee you up as much. You'll get some calls. But there's a dynamic there, right, behind the scenes. I mean, everybody knows each other, right? Like, it's an interesting dynamic in the NBA with the officials. But you talked about, you know, Golden State, Dallas, you know, it'd be all these teams are great matchups in the playoffs potentially, Paul. But take the Nuggets out of the equation. I'll just sort of go yes or no, actually. I'll just ask you about team. Minnesota Timberwolves, buying in that they go to the finals, yes or no?
No, and they've actually improved without Karl Anthony Towns. They're 9-4 at this point and playing, you could make an argument, better basketball, but I'll make a certain argument that it is at least as good. So the Timberwolves could definitely compete, and I look
Somebody's
forward.
Uber Eats arrived. I heard a bell or something.
Somebody
got some food.
Filipino style.
Somebody got an order.
Yeah, come on, give me some. Let's go. Have you tried that chicken, Gabe? It's Filipino specialty. It's money.
We heard some sort of, I thought it was a doorbell or something.
Yeah, it's either somebody, your neighbor.
It actually, look.
Shut up.
Listen. It actually, look, every, what's today, Thursday? They're either delivering a package here or they're cleaning. So one or the other, but I'm going to ignore it, and we'll forge ahead to the $64,000 question here. So let's get on to team number two.
Okay, so one quick thing about what you said, too. When people earlier, when they lost the first couple of games, Towns is out, or Karl Anthony Towns out, I said, it ain't Karl Anthony Towns. Rudy Gobert didn't play for a couple of those games. You take Rudy Gobert off this team, you got a problem. Like you said, Paul, Edwards, this way it's his ball. They're better defensively. Like, the T-Wolves are really good, but I don't think they're going to make it to the finals. Oklahoma City are just too young and too raw for me, as good as SGA is. I don't buy in that they're going to the finals, Paul. Yes or no?
I agree with you. I have seen this team repetitively manhandled, notably by the Lakers. So I think they will hit the wall at some point. There's certain teams that they can compete against and beat, and there's certain teams they're just not going to get by. So agree.
Lakers
They're
are
kind of like
dangerous.
kids. And I don't mean in a bad way, Cam, like with Oklahoma City, but like they're kids. Like Chet Holmgren's still a teenager, essentially. Like, as we know, like the dating situation. Like Josh
You know what
Giddey.
it is, Gabe?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're 21 or 20-year-olds. They're
Yes.
still kids on Instagram and TikTok. The Lakers are men, bro. Like, you get into the paint, like, or Draymond Green's going to, like, say, get out of my way, punk. I don't care about your
Want to hear
TikTok
an
girl.
example? The New York Islanders were men, and they beat down the Oilers until the Oilers figured out how to. It was men versus boys, and it took years when the Islanders won, and then 1 year Edmonton's like, let's dance. Oklahoma City's not there yet. That's the whole thing. You're playing a bunch of men, and that's why you lose.
They're far. Yeah, they're far away. The Clippers are the one, Paul, if they're kind of healthy, but I have a hard time fully buying in. It's like a big if with them all the time. So you get the Clippers, the Mavericks, the Pelicans. What about that little trifecta here? That's the 4, 5, 6 seeds right now, Paul. You buying into any of these teams as legitimate threats?
Yes. Okay. I do buy into the Clippers, and we all know they've hit the skids of late. Kawhi sat out, I believe, last game.
Yeah,
His
last
knee
night
is
against the
flared
Kings.
up again. Yeah. Okay. So the guy is 32 and an old 32. You think the guy's probably 35 as long as he's been around, but he's accomplished a lot. Soon to be 33. Paul George is 34. Harden, I believe, is 35. Russell back in the lineup. He's also 35. I don't think they care about wins and losses right now. Tomorrow night, they will play the Nuggets, and I believe Denver gets the best of them because they're more motivated. I think they're in cruise control, figuring they can flip the switch, and they're in preservation mode to make sure they come into the playoffs fully healthy. I believe that they can compete. Games are spaced out a little bit more, which will favor them, but they certainly have the talent, and this is the crescendo. If they don't get it done this year, it's break up the Clippers. By the way, they should play Thies a little bit more because Zubac, to me, is a little bit soft in the middle, and he's not a good defender. I mean, this guy at 7 feet should be blocking more than 0.8 shots a game, in my opinion.
Good call,
I think you're right about that. I think we're at the end of the road here. This is it. There's already the talk about Paul George going to the Philadelphia 76ers next year. Ballmer spent a lot of money on this unit. I think it's time for them to get results. But at the same point in time, they're never healthy coming into the playoffs, and they're close to being healthy this time. So I agree with you. I don't think it's life and death on a nightly basis. You'd like to see a little bit more consistency with them, but I don't think it's life and death on a basis. They just want to have Kawhi ready for the postseason.
That's the first.
Need the second one in a major way.
Okay, all right.
Need the second one here for you. 74-61. The Sweat. It's all live bets. There's nothing from.
Oh, we missed it! Get my three!
Hit it!
Come on!
Hit it!
Stop!
Hit it!
Yeah!
Oh,
We
my
got
God!
it! Foul him! Foul him!
Only on SportsGrid.
Is it pretty much cut and dry that NC State is the biggest surprise of the weekend? I mean, I don't think anybody's bracket had the Wolfpack going this far.
I think they're going to find a way to keep this one close. And we all know Purdue's tournament history under Matt Painter. They've had a lot of early exits when they've been good teams, and maybe this is the time they'll exercise their demons. It's kind of like when Virginia lost to that 16-seed UMBC.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage late
sort
night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage, quickest 108 minutes in sports talk and television. We're kicking it with Paul Bovey right now. Let's do a quick check back in with the Phoenix game. Yeah, Phoenix have showed up tonight. Phoenix have already scored 56 points, Paul. So, like, as far as the pace, like the Phoenix Suns, like the Suns are running and gunning tonight, guys. They got 56 points with 5 minutes left in the second quarter, but Cleveland are stuck on 32. They came in like with 20. Like Phoenix are hitting their shots. Cleveland are not. We've already got a rout. 56-32 right now.
I'd be curious to know what Cleveland is converting in the way of three-point shots, because at the end of the first, it was 2 of 11. You're just not going to win games like that in the NBA. So I'm sure that has something to do with it.
4 of 15 now. They're 4 for 15 from 3. And Phoenix are 8 for 13. It's a big difference right there. I saw a video today. We'll see if Cam can top it. Remember when you said the free throws? You said, I'll hit 18 free throws. Saw a video today.
I lied. Yeah.
Yeah, you took it back.
I did.
You took it back.
That's
Remember I said you got offended? I said, you'll hit like 9. I said, you'll hit 8 or 9. You're like 18.
You'd be surprised.
It was 30 free throws. We were talking about 30. I don't know why it was a number 30, Paul, but it was like 30. Cam said, I'll hit 18 or 30 easily. I was like, no, you won't. It's not that easy.
I think I might be able to do close to 50%. 14 or 15, I think I could do. I think I can do that.
I saw a video, though. Caitlin Clark just playing around in the summer in her garage.
Yeah.
And she hit 63 of 100 3-point shots. And she said after, I usually hit 70, but she took 100 free throws, Cam. And this is while, like, running. So she's, like, in the corner, 3. Get to the free throw line, free throw, boom. Like, it's her daily workout. She does 100 free throws, 100 3-point shots, and 100 mid-range jumpers. She hit 89 of the 100 free throws.
That's unreal.
That's that's good. I mean, I'm not going to say bad.
Settle down, Paul. Yeah. Good. How about fantastic?
Shaq hit 52%.